This is a vision I saw March 7th for soon. The vision starts out with Soon standing before a fire, and he has in his hands, I believe it's called a bellows, and he's blowing air into the fire. And then after this, he stands there with a deck of cards in your hands. And the deck of cards is in your left hand, the full deck, and then with your right hand, you kind of put it over the top of the deck and start to kind of push the cards off of the deck into the fire. And as they're doing that, I could see very clearly that one of the cards has a 4 on it. That was really clearly shown to me. And that's 100% sure. And then 5-7, which I'm not as sure on, but I think that's what came up. And then the third thing that I saw where you were at this position was you were standing there and your smartwatch went off and you looked at it very intensely and purposely as it lit up. And then it was like a manual clock on the side where you can change the time, and you changed the time. Then after you did this, you sort of walked towards a large shed, and you started to try to open the shed with your hands, and it was very heavy to open, so you kind of put your back against the door and your feet kind of up against the other side and begin to push as hard as you could to get this door open, and were still unable to get this door open. Then you got on your hands and put your feet up against the door, and it was able to open actually quite smoothly until the door was all the way open. And then you sort of positioned yourself in the door frame, almost blocking the door from being able to close again. And then when you can see inside this shed, or this large barn type shed, it was complete darkness. And out of the darkness came some very specific animals. The first were beasts like dinosaurs, and they were running out of there. It's possible there was a bit of water to represent a flood. I'm not sure. And they were running quickly out of this darkness and just running off. The next was some lions. They were also running out of the darkness off into, I don't know. Then the third thing I saw were a few jeeps that had men in them, I think with a map, and I think I heard the word expedition, maybe. A couple jeeps coming out of there. After the jeeps came out, you kind of, I'm not quite sure what your stance was. I know that there was some looking into that darkness quite a few times and just being observant, it seemed. Anyway, as you got off of the door and kind of walked towards my point of view, I could see that you were holding a Bible in your hands and you were flipping through scripture, and the first thing you came to was Genesis, and you circled Genesis at the top. Then you went to Leviticus and you circled Leviticus at the top. Then you kind of thumbed through the Bible some more, and you took it was like a pinkish colored, like colored pencil, and you wrote in the air either the word Messiah or the word Manasseh, I think. I could spell it better for you later if it doesn't make sense. But one of those two words, I want to say Manasseh, but I don't know. Anyways, one of those two words you spelled out into the air and just spelled it sort of on the air. After this, you closed the Bible and kind of held it all this time. You're very methodical, very intensely thinking. I can see your expression was very to think things through. You kind of held the pencil up to your mouth at one point, kind of just a thinking position. It's very clear that you were deep in thought. And at this point, you had your watch again. I'm trying to think which order this went in. And you heard the ringing this time, and you held the phone up to your ear this time and looked up to the sky a few times. You would listen to the watch and then look to the sky, listen to the watch, look to the sky. And then, this is the order, I'm not sure of if this happened before this next part or after this next part. But regardless, it happened. It looked like you started to launder some clothes, do some laundry. There were some garments on hangers that you kind of begin to sit up straight. They were folded over and you kind of begin to like hang them. And this is all in the air. There was no room. You were just there. And these were black garments. And then there was like a laundry basket in front of you, and you began to kind of put some garments on your left shoulder and just piled them there on your shoulder. And then you held one up so I could sort of see it, and I asked the Lord, what are these garments? And he began to put a man, just a figure of a man, not even with a head, just the body, into this outfit so I could see him in it. And it was like an outfit that had a hood, a black hood, short sleeve and cut off shirt, and then short sleeve shirt, cut off pants at like the knee area. They were just cut off, and it looked like it was cut off in a way that was like scraggly at the bottom. And it was one piece. And he fit into it, and it looked too small. It was much too small for this man to be wearing. Anyway. And so then after he showed me that, you took the garments, it was very much a garment, off of these hangers, and you threw it into the fire. And then you took the ones off of your shoulder, and you threw those into the fire. And then to your right, there was this large stack of folded clothes, white garments. And there were really a large stack. I think it fell over. It was so large. Anyway, and then you kind of put that in front of you. And you held this one up. And this one was interesting too. It was a softer material than the black. Almost like sheep's wool or some sort of soft material. And it was all white. It was one piece. It had the hood, long sleeved, long pant leg all the way to the bottom. But when you held it up, you cut off the leg part with scissors. And then I saw the man, God had me put the man back into this outfit. And so after you cut off these legs, you replaced the leg part with like metal boots, like armor type boots. And that is where this vision ended.